Mr. Transformers 96 here with another collection update. This is an extremely special collection video because it will be my last one ever in this house. Yes, I am moving, so this is kind of my last hurrah collection video-wise as far as how the collection is set up now. I am very excited. I'm actually moving in with my fiance. We bought our first house ever, and we're incredibly excited to move in, and I am incredibly lucky to have met somebody who will allow me to have a collection room, because yes, I will still have a full collection room there, which I am super stoked about. I'm excited to get it all set up. So I think that I'll try to move a lot of the stuff over. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of the stuff in here that I'm really happy with how it's displayed. So I think I'm going to try to keep a lot of it set up the same way as I do have it here. However, obviously, just because of the shape of the room, I'll be changing up a little bit of where things are located. I'm sure while I set things up, I'll do it differently for some things. However, some setups I'm just really happy with, so I'll try to get back like as close as possible. But I'm sure it'll still, regardless of, even if I try to mimic this, I'm sure it's going to end up looking very different. So, you know, hopefully not long after I move in, I can do another collection update to show you guys the new space. But for now, I've loved this collection room. It's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed the setup that I have in here. So for one last time in this house, I'm going to show you guys the collection. Last time I did a collection video was about 6 months ago, so things have changed in here. I received more stuff, and yeah, things are a little bit different, so definitely be going through it. So let's get started. Alright, I'll start off with what I always do, kind of the normal size figures. This, as I've expressed before, is a closet that I removed the doors off of and put shelves in. Now, going into my next house, I guess in this video I'll kind of give you a little bit of a stuff that I plan on doing in that house, things like that. But I plan to do the same thing, and I've measured it, and the depth of the closet is identical. It's the exact same depth. However, it's much wider actually. So I'll be able to fit more stuff in, which is kind of exciting. But I'm gonna contact the person that I had put in these shelves, and hopefully he still is in that business, and we'll be able to put up the shelves in my new closet because I think he did a great job. I've been very happy with these shelves, so I'm going to try to mimic this design with having the closet basically be turned into a little like shelf showcase. But yeah, let's go over the individual items shelf by shelf. Alright, starting off at the very top, we have my Transformers collection, the Studio Series. Now, there's a couple of new figures that I received that aren't quite up here. I did take all of my Constructicons and move them to the very bottom, so you'll be seeing them in a moment. However, I did also get Shockwave. I haven't put them in the collection yet, though. But here's the collection so far. Decepticons, as well as Autobots. They're looking great. And the way that I have them set up is I have like little shelves, or little like step stools things that I created out of like small shelves. Those aren't attached to anything though, so I'll be able to just take those with me and hopefully get a similar setup. Although I remember it being very difficult to plan out how to set those steps up, so I'll try to take some pictures so I can kind of remember how I did that. Then going down, we have Marvel Legends and a little bit of Universe. Comic style though. These are all my comic figures. And again, I did get a couple new comic waves, the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man waves for 2020. Haven't put those in the collection quite yet, though. To be honest, now that I'm moving, I'm a little focused on packing, and I don't know if I'll get them in before I start packing everything up. But they will be fully set up at the new spot. And going down, we've got Marvel Legends as well, however, all movie-based. This is really grown. This movie-style collection did not look like this that long ago. I feel like they've been pumping out movie figures at a much higher frequency than they used to do. I like this little line. It's all MCU villains. That looks cool. And then we have 3 3/4-inch collection, as well as the Diamond Selects. I actually added that Thanos Diamond Select figure to this row. I haven't bought a Diamond Select figure in years. I used to be really into them, and then they just kind of got really slow at producing figures, and with Marvel Legends really amping up, there weren't many characters that they were doing that Marvel Legends wasn't, so I just kind of thought, I'll stick with Marvel Legends fully. However, I couldn't pass up Thanos. Thanos just looked too good in person. And then let's go down to Star Wars. Although this is mainly Star Wars, I do have a small DC section. With the wider shelves, I'll be able to give DC a little bit more respect. However, I just don't have many DC figures. I've sold a lot, and they've had really bad toy lines recently. So I'm just I'm laying off DC a little bit, to be honest. Just because of the lack of stuff to buy, I guess. Then we have my Clone Wars collection. One of the few 3 3/4 inch collections that is still going strong. I love that 3 3/4 inch collection. And then Black Series. This is, excuse the movement. This is kind of a large section. However, I have a huge Black Series collection as far as First Order and Empire that is in a different spot that I'll be showing you. And my Jabba the Hutt display. And a Jabba the Hutt in a bunch of different scales. Alright, and then, let's see if I can coordinate this without putting another cut. Let's move down where we have my Constructicon collection. So I decided to do this once the Studio Series started their Constructicons, because Constructicons took up a lot of space, first of all, and I was starting to run out of room space-wise for Transformers up there. So I thought this would be a great way to not only save room, but also to really have the Constructicons spread out and to have them all in one place. I do have some in-package figures around them, just because those are the ones that I have in package, and I don't really display in-package Transformers, but for some reason, usually customs is the reason that I have duplicates in package. So it starts off with the old ones from 2009 with the old Devastator, and then it breaks off into the new with... Ooh. Sorry, the cord for the light is messing something up. Okay, starts off with the Studio Series. As you can see, I do have my partial Devastator there. And yeah, there they all are. I think it makes for a cool collection, just having like all the Constructicons in one place. And again, I plan to do the same style of setup. I think that kind of on the ground level, I'll have the Constructicon collection, especially once I get Devastator fully built. I think that'll look quite nice. Alright, and then right next to the shelving section, I have a small little like Disney collection underneath the window, but I have some Disney figures. Just got that Maleficent Dragon statue recently. I really like those. I've got a small, my Hero collection from Marvel Pops. I keep the villain collection in my other room. I have a shelf for all the villains. And then on the next to that, I have a couple statues. I have Hela and Cole Obsidian. And on top of that, I have Indiana Jones. So there's the kind of the small mismatch little section before it gets to the shelves. Now moving in more into the main collection, location of the room. At the very top of the Detolf, I have my Bumblebee 3A figures. I've got Bumblebee and Blitzwing. Prime, I have on pre-order. That should be shipping quite soon, hopefully sometime next month. And then I did pre-order Soundwave, so that'll be on its way. I've got a little poster from Bumblebee next to it, which I think kind of looks cool. And as we go down, this is a lot of pops in this Detolf, but I have my Pennywise collection. As you can see, pretty substantial Pennywise collection. I've purchased a lot of those. Well, I've purchased all of those, but I mean I've purchased a lot of the Pennywise figures, just in general. And then below that, we have Stranger Things. It's mainly Stranger Things, but it does have some It in there as well, but it's the children from It and not Pennywise himself. And then below that, we have Star Wars. Star Wars collection. These are mainly kind of villains from Star Wars. And in between the cabinets, yes, I started to go kind of in between cabinets when it comes to collection stuff. This is not complete. I was just setting this up recently, so I'll show you. However, I do have different plans for that. Although now that I'm moving, I don't know if I'll get to them until I get to the new place. But there's some more Star Wars pops. And then my drone collection at the very bottom. And moving right along, we have my first major cabinet. Also, I get asked this for every collection video I do. I got the large cabinets in this room I got from American Furniture Warehouse, something like that. And then the Detolf cabinets obviously come from IKEA. I get asked that all the time though, so just want to mention it. But as you can see at the top here, I have my J. Scott Campbell collection of statues. Really enjoy his art style and And I think it's awesome that Sideshow makes so many of his pieces into actual 3D, statues. This has grown tremendously since my last collection video. I looked at it just quickly to see kind of what my collection looked like in my last video, and I've received a lot more of these, to be honest. In my last one, I only had Tinkerbell, Little Mermaid, and Black Cat. Since then, on eBay, for a good price, I was able to get Emma Frost, as well as Mary Jane, and then the Alice statue came out, which I had on pre-order at the time, too. So now this is a pretty finished collection until they just announced that they're doing Cinderella, so I do plan to get that one as well. But overall, really like them. And as you can see, my wall of in-package stuff, that's going to be the bitch to set back up, actually, in the new place, to be quite frank. And then, okay, before I go down here, I do want to say that what I have in the cabinet below here is a bit of spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. But at this point, I think that everyone kind of already knows this stuff, even if they haven't seen it. There's just so many pictures going around. But just so you know, this does involve some spoilers. But as you can see, I do have my Star Wars Hot Toys figures. And in there, I do kind of have a custom Kylo Ren as kind of the enlightened Kylo Ren, I guess you can say. But yeah, I do have him there. That was a pretty easy custom to make. I do want to adjust the shoulders a little bit to get the proportions a little better. However, I think it looks quite nice. And I've got Rey with her new lightsaber as well. That's another custom that I did. But overall, I really like the Star Wars collection. And then we'll move down and get some more. Alright, and below the heroes, of course, I had the villains. There's my kind of full villain collection. You got Phasma, some troopers in the back, two versions of Kylo Ren on the right. That's one really nice thing about making that custom Kylo, is that the Last Jedi Kylo has two head sculpts, so I can still have my full Kylo as well as my custom one. So that's great. Darth Maul and Darth Vader. And then going down, we have my Dark Knight collection. Dark Knight is my favorite movie, so the Dark Knight collection I do hold really special. But yeah, as you can see, it's really nice looking. This is a collection I thought was completed a while ago, but with the introduction of the new version of Two-Face, I do still have a figure to be added. And that figure, I'm filming this on Sunday. I have no idea when I'm going to post it, but that figure is actually set to arrive on Tuesday, so I'll be able to add him in there and fully complete the Dark Knight collection. And moving on, I have a set of Detolfs here. At the very top is kind of a Transformers collection. It's basically my leader class, masterpiece, third-party collection of my Decepticons from Transformers 1, 2007. They look really great together. And then I have my 3A Dark of the Moon Starscream next to it. So those are kind of like my really nice Transformer figures, I'd say. And below, we have some Pops of Galore. I'm a big stop-motion pop fan, so the top two are kind of my stop motion / practical effect pops. On the left, it's fully Coraline. I'm a huge Coraline fan. And on the right, the very top is other Leica properties like Missing Link, Box Trolls, Kubo, and then below that is all my Dark Crystal pops. And below them, the kind of practical effects keep going, on the left at least, as I have my Nightmare Before Christmas collection. On the right is kind of a mismatch of comic Marvel. I have pops in there. The majority of those pops are like Venom Marvel characters. If you don't know, Pop does do like a line of Marvel characters if they had the symbiote attached to them, and it's kind of a neat line, so I do have all of those in there. There's actually a couple more that I received just recently. I got Ultron and Baby Groot Venomized that I haven't put in there quite yet. And then we do have a couple of other pops like Galactus and Doctor Doom, some Reveltech Marvel characters, and the Sideshow Deadpool. And then below that, my next two shelves are my custom Transformers. Those are all, well, on the left there, the very top, those are kind of the more Generations, are they called? Something like that, Transformers. And then the heroes at the bottom, those are all custom by me. And then on the right, all of those Transformers in there are custom made or / painted by me. And then at the bottom, on the right, we have my Masterpiece G1 Transformers, and on the left is actually a little collection of Disney shorts. You might not know, but I'm a big Disney short fan. I really love the artistry that goes into short animated filmmaking, and I think that the ones that Disney contracts are really beautiful sometimes, so I do have a bit of a collection of that. And next we approach my MCU cabinets hero-wise. At the very top of it we do have my Tony Stark workshop set up, along with the Hulk and the Hulkbuster. Hulk and Hulkbuster, they go together, however they don't necessarily go in his workroom, but they're just really big, to be quite honest, so it's just a way to kind of display them all together. Below that, though, we do have my Trinities, the kind of oldest and at one point newest, but now there is a newer Trinity. But we have the Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor from basically like Avengers 1, and then we have the three of them from Infinity War. I do have all of them also on pre-order for Endgame. I did decide to get another set of their Trinity, and that'll be the last one I ever get. Let me tell you, I spent too much on those three characters, but I am very excited for the Endgame versions of them. And then next we have kind of the secondary Marvel characters. I've got everybody in there that I kind of find important. There were some that I had not too long ago that I did decide to sell just because they were unnecessary. Vision and Drax. Gamora as well. Vision, Drax, and Gamora I did sell within the past year or two, and I'm pretty happy to sell them, to be honest. There were ones that I was worried about selling, however, I actually don't miss them that much because I'm pretty happy with the ones that I do have. And then under that is my Iron Legion, all of the Iron Man armors from Iron Man 3 that I really liked, and got a version of them. That's one portion of the collection that hasn't changed since I got those things. I haven't rearranged those at all. I found a perfect spot for them all, and they just look so good, and the collection is just so complete that I haven't touched them since. They're just like in there permanently. When I move into the next house, they'll be put in the exact same position, let me tell you, because just I'm quite happy with their setup. And next up we have another set of Detolf cabinets, but at the very top we have my 1 in 12 scale TIE Fighter, as well as my Black Series collection that's kind of first order base essentially. This is one of those pieces in the collection room that I am just so happy with. I haven't changed this up very much at all, other than just adding new figures into it, just because since The Last Jedi came out, because I love this setup, to be honest. I think it's really cool looking. This is the type of thing that I'm going to try to, even with the Praetorian Guards, I'm going to try to keep them posed for the move so that I can really just do as much as I can just to set it up exactly how I have it, because I love this portion of my collection, to be honest. I think it looks super sweet. It's a real eye-catcher. I find that whenever I have people over and they take a look at this collection room, this is one of the things that people gravitate towards. It's really cool. There's a lot of emotion going, and it's very grand. So I'm going to attempt to keep this as much as the same as I can, because it's one of those things that's like, I got it perfect, I don't want to touch it. Now going down, we have some other items here. We have some 1 in 6 scale figures, mainly Sideshow, although that Boba Fett is Hot Toys, but I have my Bounty Hunters on the right, and Grievous with his droids on the left. And then we go down to some DC. I've sold a lot of DC stuff recently. I used to have I had 3 Arkham DC figures from Hot Toys. I sold all of them, and I sold one of my Suicide Squad Jokers, the tuxedo one. So I've really cut back when it comes to DC. They're the one thing out of the 4 things that I collect, which is Marvel, DC, Transformers, and Star Wars. DC is the one that I've been losing interest in the most, and it's not because, I don't know, I didn't have much of a fandom for Aquaman. Joker was fantastic, but there's not a piece of merchandise for that movie. So it's one of those things that kind of has been slowing down a bit. But assuming that they keep coming out with good movies that have merchandise, I will still collect them. On the right there, I do have another one of those small shelves, like I showed you with Indiana Jones. It's the same exact kind of setup. It's just on the other side of that major cabinet, and it's the Emma Frost Hellfire Club Sideshow statue. I just got that recently, got it for a good price. It's one that I've always kind of wanted, but just I don't collect a ton of statues, and I didn't want to pay the retail price for it, but I got it for quite a good deal, so quite happy with that. And underneath that statue, I have the Hot Toys Jack Sparrow. Not the perfect place for Jack Sparrow, to be honest. I wish that he could be displayed a little bit more prominent. However, he just doesn't go with anything else. I don't have any other Pirates of the Caribbean stuff to display him with, and therefore he's kind of has to be on his own. But overall, really love that figure. Moving back to the Detolf cabinets, we have my 2 shrines. I have kind of shrines for Harley Quinn and Captain Phasma, as you can see. On the right there, it's just everything Captain Phasma imaginable. With the exception of my Hot Toys Captain Phasma, that's just about every Captain Phasma that I own. And yeah, that collection's kind of dead, I think, now, as the character is, and the franchise. Well, not the franchise, but the trilogy. So I don't think that'll be added too much going forward, but it just looks great, so I'm quite happy with it. Now, my Harley Quinn collection, that used to kind of be the same for a long time. I couldn't add much to it, or I didn't add much to it. However, just recently, the whole pop line came out for Birds of Prey, and I was able to add a ton of pops to it. So I kind of rearranged everything and went crazy when it came to the pops, because I bought all of the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn pops that are readily available right now. So I did purchase all of them. They do look quite cool there. I'm kind of liking that display now. Here's a better look at the Phasma as well. And then below that is Arkham, my Arkham collection from DC Collectibles. It's another line that's kind of dead, but really love those figures, so I do have them all set up there. And now we're at my final piece of the collection room, essentially. This is my last of the large cabinets, and in this cabinet it is totally MCU villains, essentially. Before we go into them, though, on the top of it is my Pacific Rim collection. I have my two statues, as well as all of the NECA figures, and behind that one statue, you can see it when you kind of get close to the window over here, and obviously the collection's over there. So when you stand kind of over here more, you can see in. I have a bit of a Hellboy collection set up, because I kind of made this almost Guillermo del Toro in total. And on the top there, though, two new additions is a couple lightsabers. I went to Disneyland not too many months ago, and was really taken back by Galaxy's Edge, and they have an awesome lightsaber shop in there. And although I don't really collect prop stuff much, I was really kind of blown away by some of the lightsabers they had and how much fun they are and how good the blades look and everything. So I purchased Kylo Ren, and then, one second, this one's not hanging up right now, but I did also purchase the Darth Maul lightsaber. Two of them. So I made a complete Darth Maul lightsaber here. Very expensive overall, spent way too much, more than I should have, but they are just the coolest things ever, I will say. And then my fiance, there was one that I didn't pick up that I wanted, and that was the Darth Vader lightsaber. And I was planning to grab it next time we went to Disneyland. However, she sneakily bought it and gave it to me for Christmas this year, so I got it quite early and quite happy with that. They look super cool. I found awesome little hooks to hang them up on, and they look great. Alright, now going into that Hot Toys collection for all of the Marvel villains. As you can see, the top shelf have Loki front and center, the first edition of Thanos, which came out for the Guardians of the Galaxy line, a couple Jataris, and my newest addition to this collection, which is Killmonger. Then we go down one, and we have some of the other villains. Let me lower it. There you go, you have a bit of a better view now. We've got all of the other Marvel villains. The Winter Soldier, Red Skull, Hela, Mandarin, Caecilius, Electro, all of them. And then going down, we have some of the larger ones, and yes, I did add some lights to Whiplash's whips. I did that quite recently, actually. I posted a video on it, so if you're curious as to what lights I used and kind of how that came to be, feel free to check out that video. Just posted it like a month or two ago. But yeah, all the other larger ones, so the Infinity War Thanos, the Whiplashes, the Ultrons, and War Machine, so got them all in there. Overall, really love this kind of villain collection. I think it's super cool. As far as Thanos goes, although the Endgame one tempts me, I think I'm good on Thanos, to be honest. I think that the Infinity War one is the one that I preferred, to be quite honest, because I think Thanos was the coolest in Infinity War. It had the coolest sequences, but nonetheless, really like that. Alright, so there you go. That is my last collection video in this house. I've had 3 great years in this room with my collection, and I've had a lot of fun taking pictures and taking videos, making collection videos, and showing you guys everything. And I will continue to do so. It'll just be in a different space. So I'm very excited to get everything set up there. I'm not excited to pack it up. That is going to be a hell of a task. I've already started it with the pops that aren't in this room, and that's taking forever. So I can only imagine the hell that packing this up and then re-putting everything back up will be. And I will tell you the worst part of it, because I remember when I set up this collection in here 3 years ago, it's these guys. I'll give you a little handheld view in general, but it's these ones. These are the worst to set up. Adding new figures in it, not an issue, not really a problem at all. But setting them up from scratch, they domino like nobody's business, and then I have to set everything up again. It's the most annoying thing in the world. However, I love it. and I certainly love the result. So yeah, let me give you a full handheld look. Now you'll have to excuse the fact that I do have a lamp in here just to add some extra light, so you might see that, but let me give you a full look at everything. How everything looks where it's all related to each other, just as one last look of it set up in this room here. Yeah, overall, I have loved the look of this collection. It is looking awesome. A lot of it will be set up similarly. I don't think I'm going to do any... Well, I don't plan on any specific major differences as far as how I'm going to set things up. Like, I like my Pennywise collection, so I'll probably try to do that again. I like this, you know, just like that. Like, I'm pretty happy with the way everything's set up. However, the positioning of all the cabinets and everything will be very different, and just overall things will be different in general. So that will cause a lot of differences, I'm sure. I'll be excited to show you what it all looks like once I move in and get everything set up. Well, there you go. That's my final collection video in this room. Let me know what you guys think of how everything's set up, and thanks so much for watching.